Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Melissa. I'm from BNY Mellon. I represent women in technology, and I'm honored and proud to be here today with these amazing young people. So to get started, Jasmine, I would like to hear more about you. As a science and math major, it's great to see that you have combined many aspects of art and science. Can you share how you were able to find the right balance for both?
Yes. So when I first got into college, I went in as a computer science major, and I was actually doing computer science and music with a math minor. And I still wanted to do, well, my parents wanted me to get a job that was more secure and make money, which is why they told me to go into computer science. But I still craved creativity and whatever career I wanted to do in the future, which is why I pursued music as first as a piano major. But then it got complicated with my rehearsal hours and I was further ahead in comp sci. So I dropped my music major down to a minor. But I still enjoyed designing from high school because I went to high school for construction. I was an architecture major there, which
So cool.
I then decided to pick up interaction design, which is how to make UIs more interactive and more attractive to users while you're coding logic in the background, invite users in to make it more visually pleasing. And it was through that got me engaged and seeing, oh wow, I really still do have a passion for designing, and I can combine that with the more technical side of coding in the background. So that's where I mainly play with that.
That's very, very, very interesting. Let's move on to Alicia. Alicia, while a sophomore at Smith College, your goal is to become a software engineer. Can you share more about that aspiration? We can't hear you. Okay, looks like we're having a little technical difficulty. We'll move on to Anna.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, Alicia, you're back? Okay, perfect.
Okay. So basically I knew I wanted to be a STEM major since middle school. I knew I wanted to code. I knew I was on Code Academy for that time loosely during middle school, and I remember playing with Scratch as early as elementary school during computer lab. And I remember coding being so much fun. And so I knew from those experiences that I wanted coding to be my future and definitely in a career. And so yeah, as a sophomore now in Smith College, I'm majoring in computer science, and I've had experiences more in front end development, more website development. But now I am an intern at STEMaway in machine learning, and I'm creating recommender systems for that website. And recommender systems are basically what you see with Netflix and Hulu, basically where they recommend you different movies to
That's so
based off
cool.
of what you've seen before. And so yeah, I've basically been learning how code is experienced in many different aspects of our lives, and I'm basically able to see where those aspects are. And yeah, I'm excited to be a software engineer and just contribute to making that technology more accessible.
That's very incredible, and I wish you best of luck. Best of luck with that, especially with the Netflix component and that software that is the future. Everything is going to be one big algorithm pretty soon, and we're already on our way with that. Okay, now let's turn to the next panelist, Anna. Anna, as a student at Carnegie Mellon University, you're interested in the consult side of technology. Can you please share with our audience what does that mean? What classes are you taking to reach that goal?
Yeah, so I'm assuming most of our audience is like junior high school, high school. Back then, I was really committed to being a software engineer. I was like, women in STEM, my future is going to be all coding. I love it, whatever. And then once I got into college and I actually experienced like what a day in the life of being a software engineer was like, I was like, wow, I cannot code my entire life. Um, so then I looked at like all the different, like nothing wrong with that. It's just me personally, I don't think I could do it, and which is perfectly fine. Some advice I give is to like actually don't, even if you think you know what you want to do for your career, don't be too set on it when you go to college or after high school or whatever you do. Like there's so many different opportunities and you like should try everything out. But yeah, I realized that while I don't want to be like a coder, I still want to be involved in technology somewhat, because I really think it's a really interesting field. It's going places. So I just looked into all the different other roles there are, and there are a lot that I didn't know about. So what I'm interested in now is more consulting, where I didn't even know this thing existed in high school. It's like a lot of companies have a lot of different problems, but they don't want to necessarily hire people to fix those problems like as a part of their staff. So they go and they hire like consulting firms where they have specialists, and the consultants like go and fix their problem in the company, and they like get paid a lot. So I thought that was pretty cool. And so yeah, that was something I didn't know existed when I went to college, but now I do. And it's just something I'm really interested in now.
Consulting and technology is the wave
Yeah.
of the future, and they are a lot of jobs that are in technology that are not technologists. So my career, a little overview of my career path. I decided to go into technology about 8 years ago. Recently, I just graduated with a master's in cybersecurity. I'm a part of the cyber team, but I'm not a technical part of the cyber team. I'm actually a part of the program management office, and I'm a program manager. So there's so many different aspects, even if you can't code, even if you're not great at coding, to try and to explore. And there's so many different in it that anything you might find interesting, you can tie into tech, which is very cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So follow-up question, Anna. There's so many programs and opportunities for youth to take advantage of, whether in STEM or youth development. Anna, you participated in the Intrepid Space Museum Youth Summit Institute in 2017 to 2018. What are some of the key skills you learned from that program, and how have you applied them as a college student?
Um, Honestly, one of the most important things that program has brought me was the discipline to do things that weren't required for me, because it was a program like I had to do on the weekends, that I personally signed up for. Like I wouldn't like get kicked out of school if I didn't go. So a lot of the mornings I would just wake up and be really tired and like want to skip the whole thing, even though I knew it was important. So the most important thing I thought was just like forcing myself even on the weekends to go out there to learn more, to talk to a lot of different people, even if it didn't have like a direct impact on my career or whatever. It was really helpful for personal development, and just getting like the discipline to do things that I wouldn't normally do. Uh, and so that's translated into, well, I made a lot of friends there that I still keep in contact with, but like it's translated into like attending events like this that I don't have to every week, or I have a goal of like meeting and calling maybe 2 to 3 people I meet every week, and these are like completely new people. Oh, some advice I want to give, I guess something I wish I knew was, in high school I thought like I had no skills, so like why would anyone want to talk to me? But one of the most important things I did was go on LinkedIn and then like make a profile and not just connect with people I personally knew, but like I would search up like software engineer at Google and then just like spam connect everybody, even people I didn't know. And I would be like, hi, blank, like I'm like interested in software engineering, whatever. And then a lot of people would like ignore me, but a lot of people did accept. And then those people I reached out to, I was like, I literally don't know you, but I'm really interested in Google or whatever, and I want to talk about like your experiences. And then people would actually be down to do that. And so I feel like that's something a lot of people, especially at a younger age, can do to explore their options. Because I feel like the more types of people you talk to, especially on a personal level, the more helpful it is for you in the future.
Definitely, definitely. And that was very kind of them to respond, and that's how you give it forward.
Yeah, yeah.
Rashib, you already hit some amazing milestones in your career and in technology. Can you first can you first share with us when you started and when you started making things?
Sure, Melissa. So I think I would say I had a sort of unique childhood, and so my journey I'd say started when I was about 5, and my dad at the time used to work with computers. He used to repair them, and he was in the industry basically, which meant we had a lot of computers lying around our house, especially in like the living room that were like open stuff like that. So often I'd help him close them or help him assemble something. And that basically got me handy with tools and got me used to working with tools basically. Then I think when I was 7, I saw this Hindi movie which was about robots. It was an interesting movie. So this scientist guy, he builds a robot and the robot decides to kill him. So that inspired me to my own robot basically. And yeah, so I spent like 6 months on Google trying to find how I could build a robot, but I was 7, came up with nothing. But my parents had an interest, and I think then on they really supported me, getting me small kids that I could work with, things that I could use to learn on my own. And then we have the internet, and I basically taught myself how to work with 3D printers, building circuits, programming, and programming microcontrollers, and actually got into building things with a purpose. And yeah, now it's a thing I like to do probably whenever I'm free, full time actually, just make things.
That's very cool. Do you think do you want to do that after university?
Yes, and hopefully in university as well. So like to be in like an industrial engineer or something, and like work in product design. So I'm making things throughout, something I enjoy doing. So yes.
And if you enjoy what you're doing, you never work a day in your life. And I can say that from personal experience. I am extremely happy where I am, and I've learned a lot at my time at BNY Mellon and other places in my career. And if you love what you do, you'll get up every morning, you'll be excited. So that's great. Follow-up question for you. Fast forwarding on to now, you're the founder of MindRealm. What is this organization and why was it created?
Sure. So MindRealm is actually the world's first mind control gaming company. So we basically use EEG headsets, electroencephalography headsets, to read 9 of your brainwaves and use that to calculate how well focused you are. Now, let me just shoot a question to you all. What do you think is like the average human concentration span? Like the estimated time that you get distracted by an irrelevant stimuli before, while you're trying to do something. So
for me, 3 minutes. What do you think? My guess is 3 minutes.
Right. See, so we would think it's that long, but as per a study conducted by Microsoft in like 2011, we're using EEG. It said that the average human attention spans come down to 8 seconds from 12 seconds in 2001. So, and it said that of a goldfish is said to be 9 seconds. So humans are like at an existential crisis where our ability to focus is worse than that of a goldfish. And thanks to technology, that's only going down much more. From 2011, I'm sure it's way worse now for us. So basically, we needed a tool or something for us to be able to regain that ability to focus. And hence MindRealm. We incentivize your concentration to build your brain's ability to focus. Because concentration itself is a skill. The more you practice it, the better you get at it. And therefore, we give you games. Just practice your concentration and over time build that ability. So that's the purpose behind MindRealm. And we also try and focus on students with learning disorders like ADHD, because they do not have specific methods of treatment, especially ones without side effects. So like medicines, they can lead to students losing their appetite, and they can be addictive, and it can make them craving for them when they're not getting them, and can lead to them worsening their conditions when they have ADHD, those medicines. So basically, we didn't need an alternative without any side effects, and therefore we use games that kids love to get them to regain their focus and reduce the impulsivity.
That's incredible.
That's the idea behind mine.
You're definitely gonna make a mark on the future, because if that technology and that organization can help students and children in the future not use as much medication and be able to train the mind and be able to overcome their differences in a holistic way, using our mind and using our body and all those wonderful things from within inside, that's an incredible thing that you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa.
Okay, so a question for all the panelists. As you started your journey in technology and computer science, name one mentor that has helped you along the way and how their assistance gave you strength, reassurance, and or support? Not everyone at the same time.
Great. I'll go first.
Okay.
So I remember it was 2018, and this was my junior year of college, and I was like, okay, computer science is so vast. I need to find something to concentrate on to like make myself more marketable when I'm going out post-college.
Mm-hmm.
And I started taking a whole bunch of free courses that my school was offering in Python, iOS Swift development, trying to boost up my resume, putting more projects on. And it was just like, I never had a mentor before then. So I was just going out hungry, looking for different courses to make me look good and trying to find somebody to help guide me and push, like, give me like some sort of guidance in this new field that I was like, nobody in my family ever pursued. And I remember I applied for the CUNY Tech development program. It was a full stack program where they taught us back end and front end development. And I was assigned a career coach. Her name was Joelle Bourbano. And even though she wasn't into like coding like how I was, she had experience with helping kids get technical interviews. Hold on.
Okay, we're experiencing technical difficulties. Anna, go next.
So, she's
Oh,
back.
Jasmine, you're back.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like froze.
Okay.
But just to continue, like she helped me with my behavioral interviews and my technical interviews and just pushed me to say, yes, you might not be where you want to be now, but all your hard work, that's still marketable and that's still stuff that people in the job will appreciate, your determination and hard work to just get where you want to be, and they're going to look into that. So she made me see myself from that angle instead of seeing myself from, oh, I'm not where I want to be yet. But the fact that I was hungry and I wanted more for myself, that's what companies and prospective people that's hiring you do want. They want to see how hungry you are because that's going to make you a good asset in their company.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm so grateful to her, because without her, I don't think I would ever made it to Antarctica back in February, me doing research down there, because she made me apply for over 100 internships last summer. And even though I didn't get it, there was something I got from either not hearing back from certain jobs I was applying to, or stuff that they told me in the interview, oh, we're not looking for this, and this is because of this reason. And I learned all that to make me get in touch with the professor who was going to bring me down to Antarctica. He was like, Jasmine, I like what you're doing here. This is how I'm going to use you. And it was through her push and her helping me apply to that program, which what made me get to Antarctica back in February. And it was just an opportunity that I am incredibly grateful for. And just to give you guys like some advice, don't ever stop. Even if you take some failures, they're going to help you with your successes to come in the future. So take everything, the good and bad experience, they're definitely to help you get further on in life more than anything else.
100%. 100%. Who's next? Anna, want to go next?
Okay, so the word mentor, like growing up, everyone would tell me like, go get a mentor, and they just say that like as if like I knew how to. So I was like, where the heck is everyone finding these people who are like just helping them for free? And so I actually never found out. But I went on like LinkedIn again, which is like a really useful tool. Everyone should use it. And then when I was searching for like what colleges to go to, something I was considering was like NYU. And so I reached out to a bunch of people who like graduated from NYU just to get some insight on their experience from there. And one of the girls offered to call with me to talk about her experiences. And so she like hated the place, so I like didn't go there or like apply. But that grew into like a relationship where she sort of like checked up on me sometimes, and where I could like go to if I ever had in terms of like what I want to do as my career. She would give me like the harsh reality of things, and then I'd feel like better about myself. And so what I ended up thinking was like a lot of mentorship relationships are not like you just meet up and they immediately like love you and they want to help you out forever. It's a lot of like you have some sort of brief connection with them and you find their life to be really interesting. And so like you decide to keep in contact with them, and it just forms into some sort of relationship where you both really like each other and want each other to succeed. So if any of you have like the same question as me, like don't be afraid to reach out to anyone you find interesting. Literally, even if they're like a CEO of a company, find their like private email and then email them. Just like do whatever, because there's no harm in it. So yeah.
Who's next? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I think I go next. So I think my experience with finding a mentor has been pretty similar to Anna's. It's something that I was always asked to do, and I was always told find a mentor to help define your life and all of that. But it's not something that I found easy to do as such. But I think, and I feel who I consider my mentor now, with him also my relationship has developed over time as it did in Anna's case. So he was actually my school's psychologist. He was like the student therapist basically. But because I'd been working with brainwaves and with students with ADHD, I used to spend a lot of time, discussing my projects or what I was doing with him. So his name's Dr. Babu Rangarajan. He's a clinical psychologist from India, and he was practicing in UAE for a while. And he was at our school for I think 2.5 years or something. And over the time, just discussing all of my projects with him, and he is not someone with a technical background, but it would be his energy that would get me to, that would get me going. And I think it was him who got me to start questioning everything that I do and every decision that I make. So I think that is why I really look up to him, and why I really consider him to be my mentor. Because more than it's not, I don't think your mentor strictly needs to be in the field that you pursue. Like he does not have any background in technology, but in fact, he's a therapist. But it's the life skills he's taught me, or just his perspective on life that's inspired me, and I take him to be a mentor basically. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Alicia?
Thank you.
Yeah, so I had a similar experience in high school, like that Jasmine brought up earlier, in terms of just feeling my way around and trying out different programs and seeing what I liked. Now, that included me working at the New York Hall of Science for 4 years, just in different roles, whether that was engineering, video production, or later as an explainer, being on the floor and like teaching different kids. But I remember during my time as a video producer, I remember there was this one presenter who came in to show us graphic design, and afterwards I ended up messaging him on LinkedIn to just say, hey, I really enjoyed your presentation. I got a lot from it. Let me know if we can connect further. And long story short, that's how I got my first freelance job as a video producer for his company. That person is actually Justin Schaefer, who will be presenting a keynote today. And I'm really grateful for that, like being able to work with Justin like closely, and we got really close, and I was really able to connect on the fact that he wanted to help bring science content to underrepresented communities, whether that was through videos or through workshops. I was able to take part in those workshops and also create some videos for his YouTube channel. And basically the two things I learned from him was to first know your worth, because I remember when we were initially discussing like contract stuff, I remember saying, oh, you don't have to pay me. I'm just grateful for the opportunity. This is like me, sophomore in high school. I'm like, you would pay me to do work, and I'm just learning. I like, that's crazy. And then he ended up telling me never tell that to someone else, because they'll take advantage of that. And that really opened my eyes. That really woke me up to the fact that I need to know my worth, and despite whether you're in high school or in college, you're putting in effort, you're putting in time to the work that you create, and that has value. So definitely don't settle for less than what you deserve out of your work, and also to definitely reach out to those people who are close to you, and try to take advantage of as many opportunities as you can, because you never know where it'll lead you.
Definitely. Thank you all. A little piece of advice from my end is always pay it forward. I've had incredible mentors throughout my career. I started my career back in 2001. I've worked at the biggest financial institutions. I have an MBA, I have a master's in cyber. And the only thing that's been constant throughout my career and throughout my different educational journeys has been asking for help, understanding the situation I'm in, and always paying it forward. That's the number one thing. You guys were all very fortunate to have people to help you along the way and to teach you. So the number one thing that will help you in your future is to pay it forward. Always remember there were people that came before you and they opened the door and they made it possible for you to have these incredible, incredible future in technology and in STEM and in whatever you decide to do. Always pay it forward. So that's my piece of advice. And I think we have 2 minutes. Anything else you panelists would like to add? Oh, there's a question. Rishabh, if you have any examples of how questioning his decisions allowed you, okay. If has
Yeah.
any examples of how questioning your decisions allowed you to do something better and if you had not done so.
Yes, I think I can list more than one example in this case because it's just, sometimes not exactly second guessing yourself, but questioning your own decisions can really help make sure you've thought about it from all possible angles. So I think one of the most recent ones, at least in my case, would be what college am I going to? Deciding that was I had made a decision that I was, now I'm in the UAE and I had sort of decided that I'm going to go to Singapore, but it was this decision that I had made, and it was in a conversation with Dr. Babu that he got me to question it, like, why are you going there, and is it want to go? And it was those questions that got me to rethink and decide that okay, maybe this is not where I want to end up, and I decided to change focus and maybe apply to the US and hopefully get into some university there. And the projects that I'm working on, it's always before I actually go out and even with MindRealm, for example, this is like the 5th iteration of the product that we've been building. So after every iteration, we go back and question what we are doing and what the direction we're taking the product, and realign and do things differently every time we question whatever decisions we made. So something that's always helped. Hope that
Best
answers.
of luck. Best of luck in your decision for university. Thank you to all the panelists. Thank you for your time. I see that various people are asking for email addresses. Please, everyone, please feel free to reach out to all the panelists on LinkedIn. I don't know who feels comfortable sharing their personal information, but definitely reach out via LinkedIn. We will all respond, including myself, if you reach out to us via LinkedIn. Thank you all for your time. This has been a pleasure and an honor, and thank you so much.